just open up Lightroom and find the images you want to use. I'm going to use this one here because it's one I've used for one of my recent promotional stuff. So if I just use this one here and go back to the beginning, where's the history? There it is. If I go down to the import, right, so this is the way the image started out. So the first thing I usually do is go over to the tone curve just in the bottom here. So you go onto there, and the first thing you do is you'll get the shadows here and you'll clip them. So all you're going to do is bring that up, and what that's doing basically is it's completely flattening out your shadows. If you do it the other way, over the other side, sorry, you'll completely flatten the highlights and you'll just get a photo with hardly no contrast at all. So bring that back up to the top and you just move the shadows up. If you just create a little point just there and then drag that back down, it'll add a little bit more contrast back into your photo. And then if you just put a slight S-curve into the tone curve, sorry, that'll give you just enough contrast you'd need. Right, so the next thing I usually tend to do is I'll go over to the exposure. It's not too bad at the moment, so sorry, that's a bit of a lie. It's not bad at the moment, so I'll come back to that at the end. So if I just boost up my contrast a touch, if it'll actually go. There you go, so boost that up to about 15. Take the highlights up, and that'll even out a lot of the skin tones. So for that, maybe just a little bit more. Yeah, yeah. Put the shadows up just a tiny touch to add that tiny little bit more contrast into the shadows. And then lower your whites just a touch, and that'll bring down the highlights in the photo just that tiny little bit. And then with the blacks I'll bring that down as well. So say to about minus 17, that seems okay. Move the whites up a touch again. There you go. Right, so something I tend to use quite often is the clarity tab just here. So I'll push that up to about 10. If you add too much, it'll just give you that bit of a HDR effect, and it's not nice. I mean, there are some photos where you can use the clarity that much, but I tend not to. So just boost that up just a little bit. Put the vibrance up all the way up to about 85. That will do, and then bring the saturation down. What the vibrance does, it affects pretty much all the colours except for those in the skin tones. But obviously, if you do boost it up that high, it is going to affect the skin tones just a little bit. So that's why I bring the saturation down. Because if you notice, if I put it back up to where it was, the face is really orange. But if you bring it back down, and that'll just even the whole thing out. There you go. So that's pretty much it for that effect. If you want to add a bit of a cross-processing effect to it, you could do it down in the split toning just down here. For example, if you just put it there, boost that up, and then put a nice blue in the shadows. I mean, you can do it that way, and you do get a pretty cool effect, but the way I prefer to do it, if I just lower that back down, go back up to the tone curve, just in this little bit here where it says RGB, just change, I'll usually start off with the red and then just mess about until I get a colour I like. So I might move it up a little bit for this image and then bring that back down. I'll always put a point in the top right, or what would it be, 16th of the square here, because that's roughly where the skin tones are. So if I put one there and then just bring this down, you see it's affecting a lot of the skin tones. So if I leave that just there and get rid of that one, I bring that here down and put again just a slight S-curve in it, and that will add a little bit more contrast to the colours basically. So yeah, that looks okay. Go down to the blue, and then I'll just possibly clip the blue a little bit that too much that way, and then again bring it back down and put a slight S-curve in it. And then what I'll use, always do the red and the blue first, and then I'll just use the green one to tie them both together. So if you just put that there, put that one there, and then you don't really usually need to use as much of the green. So just tiny little S curve. And there we go. That's pretty much it. It really is as easy as that. And then I'd move on to things like sharpening, just up that a touch. Where's the eyes? Where's the eyes? There we go. Maybe move that up. Yeah, but you get the picture anyway. It's it really is that easy. It took me a long time to figure out how to do it, believe it or not. But now I've figured out how to do it. Hopefully, I'm passing the information on to you, and hope you hopefully get the same effects that I do. Hey, thank you. Good night.